Now, I'm going to do a video review about this guy. His name is Suleiman Hawks. You can find him on TikTok. He actually does a review video about Malaysia where he said it's like the worst country he ever been to. So I'm going to do a reaction video, a verbal or audio reaction video because I haven't learned how to incorporate the video onto the screen yet. Do that a little bit later, you know. But at the beginning of this video, he's actually responded to this girl's comment about traveling to different countries. Watch this.
Do as a black woman or as a black person is go to countries that I'm not wanted. I don't need to explore the most racist parts of Italy. For what? See.
And I totally understand where she's coming from when she says that, hey, I just went to Brazil. And after coming from there, I'm like, dude, I'm tired of going to countries where we're not really accepted. You know, I've been to Thailand, Mexico. I mean, I've been in places where I'm like the only black dude. And although if it's a novelty, you feel unique, it's a stunt that you can, impress your friends, your family, and whatever, man. That thing can become kind of dangerous, man. Trying to showboat can become kind of dangerous, and that's all you're doing it for. You're going to other countries where people won't accept you. It's like you're trying to prove a point where you can go anywhere and people should treat you fairly. Man, forget all that. Look, I'm tired. That's why me and my homeboy was talking about going to South Africa. Although I heard some things about Africa, but it's better, and I'm sure that racism is probably least hostile than other places I have been. Okay, so let's get back to his video.
Yeah, that country that they are calling Malaysia, never again in my life. Back in 2016, when I was still a student, I happened to be in Asia, and two of my closest friends were in school in Malaysia. So I hadn't seen them in like 5, 6 years. So I was like, you know what, let me go and visit them. Pop.
And yeah, I saw a lot of Africans in Malaysia. So me and this American black dude was actually having a conversation outside a hostel, right? And a random African cat, I think he was from Kenya or Congo, I don't know. But you know me, I look African, so he thought I was one of his people. He walked up to me and and asked me about where somebody hangs out. I guess where his people hang out. I told him like, hey, I'm American or whatever. And once in a while you do see, African cats, they're there studying, and sometimes you see some African females and they're out on the stroll doing something strange for a piece of change out there, you know. But yeah, a lot of the African people I met were they was pretty decent people. So yeah, you see them all over the place, that's for sure.
He warned me. He said, stay one place. Don't go anywhere. Did I listen? No. I carried my
You kind of understand why his friend gave him the advice of stay right where you at. Now I done travel all throughout Malaysia, and I've been to Penang, and I understand why. Like when I went to Penang, I didn't really feel comfortable there. I didn't really like the city too much. In fact, those of you who follow the MH370 um plane that disappeared, the pilot was actually from Penang, and allegedly, based on evidence, he was the one who crash landed the plane. So, and I can understand why. Like the island can become kind of depressing if you grew up there. You travel to other parts of Malaysia. It's just like here in America, man. You travel to some of these hick towns in Kentucky or Georgia or whatever, some places where, they rarely see black people. Yeah, you're gonna get that type of energy. So people will advise you, hey, I was up in the Toyota dealership one time and I heard this dude say, hey man, you traveling down the interstate and whatever, man, you going, you traveling, man, you better stay out of Kentucky. You better stay going to places on the interstate. You go outside the interstate, they got some mess for you, meaning it's some hardcore racists. Even my grandmother, one time she was taking my brother and sister down there in the middle of Tennessee. She got lost. She went to some random hotel where the lady was telling her like, hey, you shouldn't be in this town type deal, kind of looking out for her, like, I don't even leave in the morning type deal. In fact, my grandmother actually busted a U-turn in that town. A white lady called the police on her. Police came and found my grandmother at that hotel and was kind of accosting her about it. My sister, she handicapped or whatever, so she looking at the police with big eyes because she kind of know what's going on, don't know what's going on, whatever, man. And he's like, why is she eyeing me? Type of deal. So, when your friends tell you to stay out of certain places like that, yeah, you should listen. I kind of understand why his friends told him to stay, hey, just stay in Kuala Lumpur and don't be traveling to other. Yeah, I get it.
hard-earned money as a student working. You know what the kind of small money you make as a student? I used my like 1.5 years savings. I went to Malaysia. I get to Kuala Lumpur, no problems. Me and my friends were having the best time of our lives for like 3-4 days. So we decided, let's go island hopping in Sabah, which is also in Malaysia, by the way.
Wow, Saba. Yeah, man. I used to stay in little capsule hotels. The futuristic one, man. It's like a whole vibe within itself. Look them up on YouTube. You'll see. Anyway, the cheapest capsule hotel I saw was in the island of Saba. But I actually had to hop on a plane in order to get there or whatever. But I never ever went. And based on what this guy is going to say in his video, I'm kind of glad that I didn't go, man. Whew. I dodged him. Oh, dodged him. The racist bullet. For real, because like, man, bro, and first let me let you hear his explanation of going to Saba and what happened.
So we clamp another aeroplane and go to Sabah. Mind you, my two friends are Ugandan and Indian. So one of them is black. We get to Sabah. By the way, in the plane, people were staring at us. Like the black people, they had never seen black people in their lives. That should have been our first clue. Anyway, we get to Sabah. We go through immigration, which I don't understand why, because it's a domestic flight, but we go through immigration.
Yeah, bro, that's kind of weird going through immigration when you fly into Saba, but at the same time, the island where Saba is located is like shared by three different countries. You got Malaysia, you got Brunei, 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 can't really pronounce it, and you got Indonesia. So yeah, they're probably going to be more hostile and more strict down there, which kind of makes sense. But I did not know you had to go through immigration, so I'm glad I didn't
Immigration. My
go there.
Ugandan friend and I hand over our passports to the immigration officers. Then they take the both of us, only the two of us, only two black people in the line. They take us into a separate room. So we are there alone. And then after a while, they come back in. They hand my friend's passport back to her. But they are like, for me, I'm not allowed to enter Sabah. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. You're Nigerian, so unfortunately, Nigerians got a bad reputation around the world for being like drug dealers and drug mules. Even when you watch like Locked Up Abroad, a lot of those stories would be like Nigerians that be initiating and sparking all that, all them smuggling, episodes and stuff. And like, man, and it's messed up that it's like that, bro. Unfortunately, it is like that. So yeah, now I mean that's why they didn't take a friend Ugandan. She black or he black or whatever, and they took you. Yeah, that's most likely what it was for.
I don't understand why. He said, and I quote, "We do not allow your kind here." I was like, okay, I don't want any problems. I'll go back to Kuala Lumpur. No big deal. They now asked me to come and pay for my own deportation. I was like, you guys, you are not serious. I'm a student. We bought these tickets like 8 months ago. They were dirt cheap. I don't have money to pay for another ticket to go back. He was like, okay, you know what? We'll pay for you to go back. As if he was doing me a favor. Then when the time came for me to leave, I was given a police escort back onto the plane and sent back to Kuala Lumpur. My friends couldn't afford to come back with me, so I was left alone by myself in Kuala Lumpur for like.
Yeah, bro, that was some extra stuff that they done. Actually escorting you onto the plane and all that. Yeah, that was that was some other stuff, man. I ain't really like that. Yeah, I ain't like that type of stuff, man. I actually feel bad for you that stuff happened, man. But like I said,
Like 3
unfortunately.
days. So to make the most of my time there, I decided let me go out and see the city. Big mistake. When I would try and go out, taxi cabs would refuse to stop for me in the street because I was a black person. I would go to restaurants and wait.
So let me go ahead and comment on that. Unfortunately, when you have a racist situation happen to you in another country, suddenly you'll become hypersensitive to other small potentially racial things that happen. So I really think that's what happened because I spent like 6 months in Malaysia, and to be honest, I could get taxis and whatever. Of course, you have a few people on some nonsense, but it wasn't many compared to other countries. So for the most part, I never had a problem like catching a cab and anything like that, man. So yeah, it's very interesting, that he experienced that, or he just became hypersensitive to discrimination, which can happen when you experience, something potentially traumatic like that airport situation in Saba. Let's
Staff would not take my order because they didn't want to talk to a black person. Listen, when I was finally leaving that country, on the queue to get onto the plane, 5 security agents in riot gear surrounded me, started asking me questions. Where are you coming from? Where are you going? They took my passport off me. They were flashing it with different lights to see whether my passport was fake. See, if I ever step foot in Malaysia again, my left.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, they did that to you because I believe you because you was Nigerian, because I'm a young black dude and I've been through Kuala Lumpur Airport, International Airport, a few times, and like everybody had to go through like 3 different checkpoints, but I never had nobody scrutinize me closely, extra close like that because I was a black dude. No, they just treated me like everybody else. Honestly, man, yeah, they probably thought that you was probably a Nigerian drug mule, bro. I hate to say that, man, and it's messed up that it's like that, man. I'm American, and like I said, I didn't have that. I actually like flying through Kuala Lumpur Airport, man. And it's messed up because you don't even look like you might be into that type of lifestyle, man. So it's got to be like the reputation, bro. And it's real messed up. It's like that, man. So I actually feel for you, bro.
Kidney will shift.
One thing I personally
So yeah, bro. Yeah, this was a messed up situation that happened to him. I feel for him, but you know, everybody has their experiences. I, for example, I've been to Thailand about 4 times, and the last time I went, like there was a bunch of messed up things that happened. So those are my experiences that I'm gonna share. Of course, I share my good experiences. Well, several of my good experiences in first couple of videos and whatever. Malaysia, I didn't really have anything bad to say. I was all around the city, walking around Kuala Lumpur, uh, every day almost. Um, but unfortunately, his experience, what happened to him, it happened to him. And I learned, as I said earlier, what happened to me may not happen for you, etc., vice versa. That's just laws of nature, I guess, man. So yeah, that was my reaction video. I felt because I stayed there for 6 months, I could give a proper reaction and video to his response, man. So thank y'all for listening. Now have a good night. All right, peace.